How's it going, boyos? It's officially 2026. Been 2026 for a day now. I'm recording this January 2nd. Doesn't feel good. I can tell you that. I can't believe it's fucking 2026 already. But, I thought at this point in my life I'd be a hell of a lot further than I am now, but it is what it is. On the bright side, at least 2025 is over. It was easily the worst year of my life. Lost my mom. Other things transpired that I'm not going to get into, but it was just a shitty year overall. But anyways, today I kind of wanted to talk about a topic that I briefly touched upon in my last video, which is that it has to do with the age pill and growing older as somebody with zero relationship experience, and how having no relationship experience affects you into your 20s, and at what age is it really over, because I do believe that there is a deadline. This is something that a lot of people disagree with me on. And somebody that in my own comments section on the last video disagreed with me on as well, and tried to tell me that, that there's no correct timeline for sexual experiences. He seemed like a really nice guy, But I have to kind of hard disagree on that. I think that there is a correct timeline for sexual experiences, especially if you're a male. And I believe it's around 15 to 22. I think that that's the age range in which you need to be experiencing sexual successes, or else you will end up permanently stunted in the dating department. And I kind of relate this to, learning languages in early childhood with linguistic development, because whenever a child is very young, say like a toddler, the linguistic parts of their brain have a lot of neuroplasticity to them, and they kind of soak in language. It's like second nature to them in a way that adults cannot. They learn languages very, very quickly. And once a child reaches, I believe it's around age 7 or age 8, somewhere around there, the likelihood that they will ever develop linguistic ability drastically declines. So there's kind of a hard cutoff point where learning languages becomes extremely difficult for you, whereas it's not in early childhood. I believe relationships and love languages work the same way as real languages. Knowing how to healthily navigate a relationship is something that you have to develop within a certain age range, lest those parts of your brain become kind of atrophied and useless. And I believe that once you reach, your mid-20s, it's pretty much over for you. All of your peers are far, far more experienced than you. They essentially view you, as far as relationships go, as like an undeveloped child. You'll never catch up at that point. Once you're 25 like me and still a virgin and still have had absolutely like no female affection towards you in your entire life, you kind of adapt to that. I believe the brain just kind of goes, okay, so this is something that we're never going to participate in, so let's just stop centering it. Let's just stop developing the, whatever pair bonding or whatever, oxytocin response that develops in relationships. I think that it just kind of shuts off without proper stimulation. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that even if I were to get a girlfriend, now, I wouldn't really know what I was doing. I wouldn't know how to navigate that properly, and she would very quickly kind of realize that I'm a loser, that I have nothing going on, that I don't really have any, like, I have nothing to show for my 25 years of being here. And also, there's nothing that men can really offer women anymore. I mean, a decently attractive woman in her early to like mid 20s, all she has to do is like, post a couple pictures of her ass on Instagram and get flown out to God knows where to ride the cock carousel and, get lauded with praise just for existing. I mean, there's an infinite number of men that are lined up just waiting to kiss women's asses just for existing, to the point where it's like there's nothing that you can offer them if you're an average dude that's the same age as them. It's like, what is the average man doing that's noteworthy, or like what experiences are they really having? I mean, the average dude in the past like 3 years, it's like the most significant things that they've done with their life is probably work a menial job, go home, get drunk, play video games, something along those lines. Meanwhile, these women have the fucking world handed to them if they're even decently attractive. So there's just nothing that you can offer them. Women my age are already desensitized to absolutely everything. Meanwhile, I would be hypersensitive, since, I should have had all of these experiences. Like, I should have had sexual experiences, like, 10 years ago, and yet I haven't. So there's just such a narrative imbalance there that it's just completely incompatible. I mean, it's irreconcilable. But hey, it's maybe it's for the best, I am a bit of an anti-natalist. Not that I think there are any axiomatic or like objective reasonings to be an anti-natalist. I'm not a Benatarian whatsoever. In fact, I think, I actually really don't like David Benatar. That might be an episode for another day. But I agree with anti-natalism on purely like moral basis. I have no, reasoning to think that, other than it's just how I feel. There really is no point to human existence. And especially somebody like me, multiple diseases, multiple autoimmune diseases, very prone to substance abuse. I'm not exactly of the highest genetic stock there is. I shouldn't be, even if you believe in reproduction and the continuation of the human race. I probably wouldn't be your first candidate to be reproducing anyways. And I wouldn't want to get married. I don't want to be a fucking wife guy. So, I mean, the more I think about all of it, the more I think, like, maybe, this is a double-edged sword. Maybe it is kind of a blessing in disguise. But anyway, if anybody watches this, just tell me what you think about that. Am I onto something? Do I sound like a fucking retard? Like, just let me know what you think. And I hope you have a good 2026.